Reptilians. They are tall, averaging around 7 to 9 feet, and have green scaly skin, 4 long fingers, and an opposable thumb with a talon at the end, holes for ears, and muscular legs and arms, with large eyes. Reptilians are often reported with and without tails, as well as with and without wings, and they have been sighted wearing anywhere from little clothing, except for some armor and a utility belt, all the way up to them being downright invisible. The idea of reptilians on Earth was popularized by David Icke, a conspiracy theorist who claims that shape-shifting reptilian aliens control Earth by taking on human forms and gaining political power to manipulate our societies. Icke has claimed that on multiple occurrences that many of the world's leaders are or are possessed by so-called reptilians. Now up next are the Greys, whom we did talk about during the Month of Myth series. However, things have gotten a bit more complicated since then. See, it turns out this species of aliens is more all over the place than I originally assumed. I don't really need to explain their appearance to you guys, since most people familiar with the mainstream culture should have seen some form of them in one shape or another. What I think most people do not know is that there is said to be 2 different types of Greys. One being the smaller with larger heads that is more commonly seen, and 2 being the larger tall Greys. Now, the smaller of the 2 is said to be clones of one another, and this subspecies carries out the orders of abductions and scientific experiments on humans, which is brought down upon by the larger, taller Greys, or in some cases other species such as the reptilians. Both of the Grey species are said to have been here for a very long time and hold connections with most, if not all, of the large governing bodies across the globe. The Anunnaki come basically from the Sumerian pantheon of gods who are said to have created mankind in order to use us as a slave race. Super awesome, guys. This race of aliens is sometimes described as being reptilian. Like I said, most aliens tend to look this way to us, which kinda seems boring. The interesting thing about this race, however, is where they are said to come from. Stories and ancient writing allegedly tells that this species originated from a planet within our own solar system, one with an odd orbital pattern called either Planet Nibiru or Planet X. Fun little thing to think about, especially since scientists as so recently theorized that there may in fact be a planet on the outskirts of our solar system. Who knows? Maybe those ancient men knew a thing or two that we are not crediting them for. Next, we have a pretty strange race of aliens, since the stories and theories on them seem to be a bit more all over the place. What I could get from this, though, is that they are humanoid species who are said to also be creators of humanity through crossing their DNA with early Homo sapiens. It is said that this race, known as the Sirians, from the Sirius B solar system in the constellation Canis Major, still walk among us today. That a way to determine the existence is that they actually have an extra helix in their DNA sequence. They appear to be reptilian in nature as well, since some stories have them clashing with other races during their first visits here, in which ancient man depicted this as eagle men fighting the snake people being that of the Syrians. Even stranger is the fact that some people believe to have actually visited their homeworld. Best way I can describe this is what happens in the book Slaughterhouse-5. It's a good book. You should go read it. If you have read it, then you know the alien reference. If not, well, there's a race in the book that lives on the 4th dimensional plane, existing their whole life, past, present, and future all at once. Now, the people who claim to have visited this distant planet where the Syrians live, they also claim to have lived many lifetimes there, and yet they still age like a normal human. So something's off. One more little fun fact, though, is that some people also believe that the Syrians brought species such as dolphins and whales to Earth, so they can't be all that bad. Saving the power hungries for the last, we have now the coolest sounding alien species on this list, the Draconanes. And no, not the D&D guys, more like the Doctor Who ones, kind of. I suppose. Once more, this species seems to have a few different stories about them. Shocker though, they are a reptilian-based race. Seems that majority of aliens are either hairless or reptiles. Good to know. Anywho, the height average is anywhere from 5 to 12 feet, all the way up to measurements between 18 and 22 feet. So you can kind of see the difficulty in researching this. Then again, this could easily be explained just like the gray situation, where one subspecies is shorter than the other one. However, one thing that most theorists and stories have in common about this species is that they lay eggs in order to reproduce, and that this race may have some connections with the idea of a new world order. Illuminati confirmed. So yes, all of those theories where reptilian races rule the world, even those saying that native reptilian people run things, can be connected to some degree to these guys right here. Some stories even have this race as being directly responsible for controlling the human population to keep things in check, while others have majority of the world leaders being related to them in some form. Spooky stuff. Now, I hope you enjoyed this list. Make sure that you stay tuned next month for the next one. Until then, comment down below a top 5 list that you would like to see, as well as for your idea of what an alien species may be. Get all Spore Simulator down in there. Thank you for staying with us to the end. If you enjoyed this journey, hit the like button down below and leave a comment in the comment section. I always consider suggestions for new videos and topics, so do not be shy. Also, do not forget to subscribe in order to stay up to date on all things unexplained. Until then, I hope to see you again next time as we take another trip into the realm of the unknown.